Today, we're diving into one of the great ones, Michael Morpurgo's Kensuke's Kingdom. It's this incredible story about survival, yeah, but it's really about an amazing friendship that blossoms in the most unlikely place on Earth.
Okay, just picture it. You're out there in the middle of a massive ocean. There's nothing around for miles, and the only thing keeping you from sinking is a football. Seriously, what would you even do? That's exactly where this story throws us, right into the deep end.
So how in the world does a kid named Michael get into a mess like that? Well, to get it, we gotta go back to the beginning. It all starts with this huge family dream that, well, takes a very, very different turn. See, Michael's life gets turned upside down when his parents both lose their jobs. But instead of falling apart, they do something pretty wild. They sell pretty much everything, buy a sailboat they named the Peggy Sue, and decide they're gonna sail around the world. And just before he leaves, Michael's best friend Eddie gives him a football. Just a simple gift, right? But that football is about to become the most important thing in his life. Well, that dream turns into a total nightmare out in the middle of the Pacific. A massive storm hits, and just like that, Michael and his dog Stella Artois are thrown right off the deck into the churning ocean. One second they're on a boat, the next, they're gone, lost. But somehow, that's not the end of his story. It's just the beginning of a whole new chapter. He washes up on an island that seems totally deserted. But he pretty quickly gets the feeling he's not the only one there. It's honestly a miracle. Michael wakes up on a beach, his dog Stella right there with him. And that football, he'd been clinging to it for dear life all night. It literally saved him from drowning. And this is where things get really interesting. As Michael is trying to figure out how to survive, weird stuff starts happening. Every day, a little bowl of fresh water just appears. There's fish and fruit left for him. He gets this constant, creepy feeling that somebody is out there watching him. And all that mystery leads to the heart of the whole story, the moment Michael finally meets the island's one and only inhabitant. And talk about polar opposites. You've got Michael, this young kid from England, terrified, alone, and just desperate to get rescued. And then there's Kensuke, an old Japanese man who treats this island like his own private kingdom and seems totally fine with being by himself. Kensuke is definitely not rolling out the welcome mat. He lays down some serious rules. Rule 1, absolutely no signal fires. That's Michael's only hope of rescue. Rule 2, stay on your side of the island. And the biggest rule of all, the animals here, they're my family. Don't touch them. So yeah, it's pretty tense at first. So the big question is, how did these two, from completely different worlds, go from this standoff to becoming friends? Well, it doesn't happen overnight. It's something that gets forged in a moment of crisis. And here it is, the game changer. Michael gets fed up, ignores Kensuke's warnings, and goes for a swim. He gets stung by a super venomous jellyfish and almost dies. And who saves him? Kensuke. He finds Michael on the beach and carefully, patiently nurses him back to health. That one act of compassion, it changes everything. After that, the walls just start to come down. They begin to build this bridge of trust between them, one piece at a time. Michael starts teaching Kensuke some English, and in return, Kensuke shows Michael how to really live on the island, how to fish, what to eat, even how to paint with dyes made from berries and clay. They're not just two people on an island anymore. They're starting to become a real family. And as they get closer, Kensuke finally shares his story, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. Turns out he was a doctor in the Japanese Navy during World War II. He was out at sea when the atomic bomb was dropped on his hometown, Nagasaki. He's been living on this island for decades, completely alone, because he's convinced his wife and son died in that blast. Their bond gets sealed for good when their quiet little world is threatened. Poachers, Kensuke calls them the killer men, show up to hunt the orangutans. Suddenly, Michael and Kensuke have a common enemy, and they have to work together to defend their home and their animal family. This fight for the island really brings us to the final emotional climax of their time together. Rescue is finally on its way, but it comes with a really tough choice and a very heavy promise. Then one day, it happens. The thing Michael has been praying for since day one, a ship. On the horizon. He can't believe it. The chance to go home, to see his parents again. It's finally real. The feeling must have been just unbelievable. But it's so bittersweet, because Kensuke makes a choice too. He's staying. This island isn't a prison for him anymore. It's his home. He's its guardian. He's not going to abandon his kingdom. And before Michael leaves, Kensuke asks him for one last thing, a promise. He needs Michael to stay silent about him and the island for 10 years. Think about that. An entire decade of silence to protect his friend. It's a huge thing to ask, but Michael gives his word.
And he keeps that promise. 10 years later, to the day, Michael tells their story to the world. And in a beautiful tribute, he names the book after his friend's island home, Kensuke's Kingdom.
But wait, the story has one last incredible twist. After the book comes out, Michael gets a letter. It's from a man in Japan named Michiya, and he writes, "I read a book. It told the story of my father, Kensuke's son. He and his mother had survived Nagasaki. They were alive the whole time."
So why does this story stick with us so much? It's way more than just a cool adventure. It shows us that friendship can truly overcome anything. Age, language, culture, you name it. It's also this quiet, powerful look at how war can shatter a single life for decades. And, of course, it's a beautiful message about how important it is to protect our planet and the creatures we share it with.
In the end, I think Kensuke's Kingdom leaves us with this one big question. Can one single unexpected friendship completely change the course of a life? Looking at Michael's story, I think the answer is a definite, resounding yes.